Hi, welcome to the studio. Elegant and earthy. Today's been a really big day. Been away on vacation. I haven't been in my studio, so today I spent the whole day in the studio and I have made 4, 5, 6 plates and, oh dear, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be the 9th. 9 mugs. So for me, that's a lot. What is that? 9 plus 6. That should be easy. 15 things today. So this is the last of them, and these are large mugs, and I'm making them with white clay because I have this idea in my mind of how I want to embellish them with this new technique that I'm learning about using vinyl decals. So I'm excited, but in order to use the technique, I need something to put it on. So here we go. Mugs. So 20-ounce wads of mud or clay, and just kind of center that right in the middle of the bat, which is this portion. And when I put my hands like this and smack it together, it's called slap centering, and that helps it to adhere to the bat and to be in a nice shape for centering. That's what we do next, centering. My elbow is in my hip, my hand is in place. Ooh, I just pushed that right off, not to worry. Too strong. My elbow in my hip. I guess this is my 9th one. I guess it's kind of showing because I don't know my own strength anymore. So anyway, I'm gonna throw this back in the center. It seems about center. I'm gonna slap center it in. See if that helps. Of course, I'm getting splashed a little bit because I put water on it. That's okay. Elbow in the hip joint and hand still, and then pushing down with the sponge hand. And what that pushing down does is it adheres the clay to the bat. This clay is hard. It's been out a little too long. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm going to push it down one more time. I probably should since it just jumped off the bat. Okay. Now I'm going to pull up, push down. I'm going to pull up. And I pull up by pushing my hand out and my sponge in. They're both trying to meet each other. And I get a nice triangle shape or a cone. I'm going to do that one more time. Happy with that. Put some moisture on this. Now hands together, 2 thumbs forward and push down gently forward. You don't need brute force. You can just gently push it down. I still have my elbow really locked into my hip. And I have kind of a round shape, which is great. I'm gonna kind of, well, I think what I'm gonna do first is use this rib. It's a little uneven on the outside there. All right, now moisten that all up again. Elbow in the hip, and then karate chop this thing down to a disc. Need some more moisture. Now it's going to give me a little trouble because it's a little dry. It's been sitting out for a little bit. Also, I reclaimed it from making the plates, so there are bubbles in it because it was hard when I was reclaiming it. Next one a little bit harder, but that's okay, I don't mind. Not a big deal. Not super easy, but not a big deal. Okay, good. Now I use my thumb as a tool and my 3 fingers to push my thumb down into the center of this vessel. And when I get to where I think is the bottom, I just pull towards me and create the bottom of the vessel. And then at this point, it's a good idea to go ahead and check the thickness. And that's about how I like it. So now I'm just gonna put a little moisture in there and use my wooden rib to make a nice flat bottom. There we go. And flatten it out again because I see lines I don't like. Because I'll have a number of opportunities to do that, so I really don't have to do it now, but I kind of like to do it now. Just like it to be neat as I go. Okay, there's a nice flat bottom. Now it's time to hug this clay. And what that means is I'm pulling the clay towards me. A little bit of a bear hug. And I'm using my pinkies to kind of bring it in from the bat area to bring it in. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it in like that. I like to clean up the bat when I'm working on it because it just makes me more comfortable. And then I'm just gonna neaten up the clay on the inside. From hugging it in, it gets a little wrinkly sometimes. That's not a problem. All right, now I need to add moisture to the inside and the outside. So I have a wet sponge and I just drip it between this knuckle and this knuckle. And then it just follows my fingers down and goes right where I need it to go. And so I'm using my index finger and my middle finger on the end side hand, and I'm pushing them together, and they're just a tiny bit apart. This one's a little bit higher, basically the thickness of the floor. And I'm pulling up one ring of clay at a time with those two fingers. So here we go, pulling up a ring of clay. That is my first pull. I'm just coming over the top to kind of reinforce like a coherent top, so it's not all waving, bopping around. This is my second pull. Pinching those fingers together, the index finger and the middle finger. This is my second pull, and I can feel a bubble in there. I'm gonna have to deal with that in a few minutes. Come over the top just to reinforce a nice rim. Okay, and a little more moisture. And this is my third and final pull. And what I'm really trying to do is have a nice wall that is the same thickness from the bottom to the top. And I've got my bubble. I'm kind of hoping it pops on its own. I think it just popped. Good. Oh, yeah, you can see where my bubble was. I have a fix for that. So where the bubble was, there's a little less clay, so the wall's a little more thin and a little more vulnerable. So I think you can see that. So what I'll do is I just take a rib. I actually like to use my red rib. I don't know if I've lost it or, you know, you can lose so many tools right here at the wheel without ever getting up. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience. This one hit the floor. That's why I couldn't find it. Just want to wash it off real good because this floor is quite dirty from all the clay. All right, so this is how I like to hold it on the inside. This is how I hold it on the outside. And I just start at the bottom and I just try to line them up so they're directly opposite each other. And then I just kind of come up the side, and I do this slowly because I'm trying to be gentle with the clay. It's had that bubble in there and causes stress, and you know, we don't need to further stress the clay. So we're just going to gently work through this bulgy part. To get rid of this clay is sticking to the side. It is trying hard. Let's help it. Let's help it. Okay, we come up to the bulgy spot. Very stressed out area. Yep, we're kind of refining it a bit. Making it a little less stressed out, which is nice of us. Nobody wants to be stressed out, not even the clay. That might be as good as it gets, and that may not be good enough for us. Nope, that might not be good enough for us. It's It's a little bit fun to watch though. A little bit fun to watch. All right, let me get the water out of here. That's what I like to get the water right out. Gotta get a little bit more out because there's some slip in there, so that kind of fills up the sponge roll quite a bit. I'm just gonna come up the side with this sponge. I don't know if we're gonna be able to save this or not. We may not be able to, but that's okay. It is just clay. It's just clay. I'm not worried about it. Okay. Make this corner nice and neat. And I'm going to bring it back to the center so it's a nice flat bottom. It's been aggravated by me trying to clean the side and trying to straighten up the side. So I'm just going to like reinforce it and make it a nice smooth bottom. All right, pretty smooth. Go a little bit faster. It's I don't have much moisture in there, so it needs to go faster. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of push on the outside a little bit. I might actually use this tool and maybe the soft tool. I'm gonna have to hold this pretty firmly. I'm just gonna use this like this and see if this helps me at all. It's really trying to survive this, but it keeps grabbing and dragging. That's too bad. That's too bad. Might be kind of cute to just leave a weird little dimple there. I'm working this clay to death. So when this happens sometimes, when you overwork your clay and it's all stressed out, you always have the option to stop before you rip it, like I just ripped it, and go ahead and ignite this thing and you know, turn it on, fire it, and just use this to dry out that area. Now this would have been perfect, except it had a bubble there and the wall was a little thin, not thinner than any other place, but just I like my walls thin. And with that bubble there and the wall being thin, when the bubble popped, it was extra thin. So maybe I can show you how thin it was. What's the best way to do that? Maybe if I cut this way. Yeah, why don't I just, oops. May not be able to cut, it's so thin, I may not be able to cut it that way. Probably if I dried it, I could cut it that way. I'm gonna just try to wing it for you. All right, I've cut right through that rib for you. I'm just gonna cut it like that. So I think you can see what's happened here. It's really a great shape. I mean, it's really kind of perfect. But up here, it's pretty thin. And it was pretty thin because I had a nice big bubble in there. So that happens, and especially with Reclaim. And honestly, this is my 9th mug tonight. And I was a little more careless than I normally am. So that's kind of how that worked out. Anyway, thanks for being here. There's so much to learn in the process of throwing. So maybe tomorrow I will show you all the mugs and how to put handles on them. Not 9, 8, which is good because I only made 9 handles. And you often need to have an extra handle because, you know, they don't always work out perfectly. So, thank you for joining.